Chapter 66. Thus saith the Lord, The heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me, and where is the place of my rest? For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor, and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man, and he that sacrifices a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. I also will choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. Hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word, your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake. Let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear unto your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that rendereth recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth, and not cause to bring forth, saith the Lord? Shall I cause to bring forth, and shut the womb, saith the Lord? Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her. That ye may suck and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandied upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforted, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like a herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord. For as the new heaven and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. This is the last chapter in Isaiah. And he's summing up things pretty good here. In ancient Israel, the Lord required animal sacrifice as tokens of the coming of the Savior to atone for the sins of the Jews. The point was that they were supposed to think about the purpose of the sacrifice and the symbolism of the sacrifice and the blood of the sacrifice, because they were taught that they were going to have a Savior. And what they did was they changed it by leaving out anything that had anything to do with any inner righteousness, any learning about the Savior, and it just became a meaningless killing animals and burning parts of them on this fire in the tabernacle and the temple. That's really what it became. They had the outer form of worship, but they had no inner righteousness, which is why they kept on going to idols. Now, Isaiah was totally blunt about the hypocritical religious observances of these people. Now, you don't kill an ox in place of a man. You don't kill it isn't that the Lord didn't want the sacrifices. He wanted them, but he wanted them to learn. And he talks about cutting a dog's neck and putting swine blood on. These things were both forbidden. Those were abominations. But what he's basically saying here, what the Lord's saying, is that because you have perverted it and not paid any attention to what we're trying to get here, it is as corrupt and abominable, and it stinks as much to me as if you were doing these things. As if you were sacrificing men instead of oxen. As though you were cutting dogs' throats. As though you were putting swine blood on my altars. Men had chosen their own way instead of God's way. When God sent prophets, the men didn't listen to the prophets. When he sent his son, they didn't listen to his son. They killed him. They murdered him. What do you do with people like that? And Isaiah, it didn't mention about the Son of God, but the point is, Isaiah wouldn't have still been preaching 40 years later if these people had, and not as blunt, if these people had listened, heard, hearkened, done what they were told to do. I mean, he was a prophet for 4 kings. And there were other prophets about the same time. We're going to find out some of those in the next month or two. And basically, the Lord was really giving it the very best he could to get these people turned around before it was too late. They were doing their best to see till it was too late, and they weren't willing to get turned around. Now, in the last days, again, Isaiah is talking about how can a nation be born at once? How can the earth be made forth to bring an earth in one day? Okay, now, this at the Battle of Armageddon. Now, there's a place, if you look on the map of Israel, there's a place called Megiddo. In English, that's Armageddon. In Hebrew, Megiddo. And just as the Gentile armies who have gathered there are about to defeat, I mean, you can see Armageddon from Nazareth. I think it's about 7 miles. If you go on the hill over from Nazareth, you can see where Armageddon is. So Jesus Christ was born within a couple of hours' walk of where this battle is going to take place. This is on his home turf. And at that point, where they're about to be taken over and there are troops in the city itself, despoiling the city, Jesus is going to appear on the Mount of Olives. He's going to split in half. And he's going to destroy with the host of heaven, going to destroy the attacking army. And while the Jews are all wonderful because all of a sudden this great grand hero and savior and warrior and conqueror that they've been waiting for thousands of years has finally shown up, he's going to show them the signs of his crucifixion to make sure they understand that he's Jesus the Christ and that they abused him and refused and rejected him before. And at that particular point in time, the whole nation of Israel will turn to God, their God, that they refused before.